From the weather team you can trust, here's Chief Meteorologist Eric Snyder.
Getting above 20 degrees today ended one streak while we still have another one that is alive, which is the streak of us not getting above freezing, a streak that I don't think is going to be breaking anytime soon, despite the fact that this is going to be overall a much milder work week. We're still at 20 degrees at this hour. I'm hesitant on that. I think the new update that we get is going to be a much lower number because that sky overhead is still relatively clear until we get the cloud cover to start pushing its way back in, which will warm our temperatures again into the morning. I think these are going to end up dropping like a rock. So we're dropping this overall streak. We ran this to 9 days in a row where Rochester at the airport never made it out of the teens. So the barometer is 19 degrees out of this. That 9-day stretch now crosses into the top 5 in Rochester's recorded history, which doesn't go back forever, obviously. It goes back to the late 1800s. We're number 4 on that list. It's our longest such stretch in almost 50 years. The record that we did was 12 days in late January of 1961. I don't think we're going to be starting up another one of these that has a runway to it. We're going to have a hard time getting out of the single digits, I think, this weekend, but then we start climbing again going into next week. Satellite and radar, you've got your mainly clear sky, particularly on the east side. These are going to be the spots where temperatures are dropping very fast. But eventually in time, the cloud cover will make its presence felt, even a few snow flurries, which will ease the burden on how low those numbers will end up going. Little curlicue in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. This is what we call a short wave or a clipper system. This is going to spin its way on through tomorrow, kicking off some snow showers and some limited lake effect, but hopefully not that big of a deal. I think the bigger deal is what's going to be waiting on us probably Friday into the weekend with more snow, but really more just Arctic air that will end up being your big headline. Tomorrow, let's watch the afternoon. When you get the wind shift with this, you'll get these curling little squalls, and I don't think it's going to necessarily be a huge deal, but maybe there's some issues with that. Maybe a snow squall warning or two gets issued. And then you just get some lake effect. Now, temperatures on Wednesday will get back to about 20 degrees into the afternoon. That's it. It's not like it's a huge warm up here, but definitely better. And similar deal on Thursday. I think we end up close to 20 degrees before we start to wait on the Arctic air. There's your snowfall output all the way through the middle part of the day on Thursday. Out to the east, 104 into Wayne County. There could be several inches of localized accumulation there, but no, most of the rest of the area here, there's just not that much to go around. You get a quick burst with any of these squalls. Lake Erie is pretty much frozen over at this stage, so it's not contributing. This is your headline going into the weekend. Grazing Arctic air for the rest of this week, but here we go late Friday into Saturday. This is going to be a Great Lakes in New England special. This doesn't get across the deep south, but it's more confined here, and it has some bite to it. Forecast wind chill values. This is Saturday morning. Yeah, those aren't great. 17 below in Rochester, pushing 25 below as you get into parts of the southern tier. So that is just as cold as we have been at our worst, but at least with this go around, it only stays cold for a few days. Slowly but surely, we start climbing back up as we head into next week.